live here at EMO 2023 in Hanover on the Mazak stand, and as you'd expect, full of technology. 19 machines, 11 of which have automated. I'm joined by Mark Hall, and we're going to start on the Neo range. Mark, what a stand to start with, but let's talk about the HCN Neo.
Fantastic, and what a great place to start. This is the new HCN 4000 Neo. It's a new concept we have with the Neo. It's designed around three main points: high performance, high accuracy, and improved environmental performance. And we've really hit all three spots on this new technology.
So let's start with the first one, the performance. How have you achieved this?
Well, we're showing a new spindle on this. This is a 20,000 RPM spindle. It's on dual windings. It has a peak performance of 42 kilowatts and 225 newton meters. So whatever you throw at it, whether it's non-ferrous materials, we've got speed and power, but also the difficult to cut materials such as the exotic alloys, we've got plenty of torque at that end.
So a good all-rounder for people that you might not know what material you're cutting day on day.
Yes, but it also gives you that specialist ability as well, with those dedicated high speeds and high performance. Also as well with the accuracy, the machine's very accurate. We've done a lot of work, and we've improved the accuracy that we're quoting on this machine. And you know, there's several features in play here today. One of them with the control, we've got the new AI control. New AI thermal shield on the Smooth G control, and what that does is brings us better thermal stability for continuous machining operation.
I'd like to focus on sustainability. It's a big part, certainly here at the Mazak stand. How does this achieve it on the Neo?
Well, the new Neo range of HCNs reduce energy consumption from the previous model by 24%. But also there's an option of the smooth cooling system, and with the smooth cooling system, that's a very unique technology. What it actually does, it looks at the volume of material being removed, and then it controls the flow of the coolant to wash away the chips. So where there's more chips, we have a higher flow rate, and when there are not so many chips, we can reduce that for energy consumption. So that adds a further 22%. Overall, the potential is for 46% energy saving with the Neo.
And obviously it's kind on the environment, which is very important in the modern day world, but energy prices across Europe are just crazy right now.
Yeah, well, that's going to make a big impact for people, that you can talk immediately of reduced energy.
Okay, anything else about the Neo range you'd like to discuss?
This is the 4000 model. What we've also got here this week, we've got a 5000 model, and there's also two variaxis. The 5000 HCN is in a Palatech, also with a variaxis i700 Neo, but also just over here we have the new variaxis i800 Neo with the MPP.
Let's go and take a look. I must admit, when I walked on, this is the first machine I saw, obviously with a big pallet pull, but if we actually start on the machine tool itself.
Yeah, this is a very impressive machine. So it's a 50 taper, 5-axis, sells very well in aerospace. What its ability is for machining exotic materials. It's a high rigidity machine, and the spindle is very capable. This is the standard spindle. It's 10,000 RPM, big plus, but it's got 37 kilowatts of power and 587 newton meters of torque. So lots of performance where it's required. The machine itself is great with the rigidity, because rather than having a 50 taper fitted in a 40 taper structure, this is a dedicated 50 taper platform. It's also very agile for its size. It's 42 meters rapid, which is the fastest for its size of machine.
That's impressive. And obviously it's the control that everyone's familiar with now from Mazak.
Yeah, the AI control has been really good for us, and our customers really enjoy it. There's a number of benefits. One of the real big benefits is the AI thermal shield, as you mentioned, on the HCN Neo. And it's the ability, when customers are facing an environment where the temperature is fluctuating, the control takes care of that by automatically compensating for the temperature fluctuations throughout the day.
If you just take a walk around the side here, you can't help but notice the pallet pull. It's very impressive, small footprint.
Well, this is the first time we've shown an MPP on the variaxis i800. And what we see here is an extensible pallet system. We can start off as low as 6 pallets. What we see with it here is 12 pallets, but it can be maximised up to 18 pallets. And if the customer decides to increase their production, they can also increase the volume. For example, if you have this system with 12 and you increase production, you could go up to 18. It can be fitted on site.
So it's the perfect balance. You can have obviously tombstones and cubes on there, so you can hit low volume manufacturing, but also if you've got lots of components to make, you can do that as well.
Yeah, yes, that's right. The idea with this is with a large tool magazine capacity and 12 pallets, you can make production on demand. You can reduce automatically the setup time by having the components available, and also you can run automated, so you can free up your valuable skilled labour to do other tasks while the machine's doing the repetitive loading.
Yeah, and with automation, we all know we need to adopt this level of automation across the board, don't we?
Yes. Yeah, there's 11 of our machines have been automated here in Mazak. We're showing quite a range. We're showing a range of our own automation, also third party, covering everything from part and pallet loading, and then palletized automation as we see here with the variaxes.
And if we look at the stand, difficult question to answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Have you got any highlights? What's your favourite?
I think there's a number of highlights. One is the Interflex range. The Interflex is celebrating 35 years now. There's a lot of technology there. There's a lot of know-how in terms of the performance of the machine and the range that we can offer. So have a look at our Interflex. Lots going on there with automation as well. But also I think the new Neo range, because the new Neo range is hitting really the three areas that are the buzz at the moment. One is the environmental performance, the higher accuracy, but also the higher performance, which is helping to reduce the cost of manufacturing.
Great, Mark, thank you so much. Good to catch up as always. We're going to go and speak to someone else from Mazak. In this particular machine, we're talking about the Interflex. Jason, how are you doing?
Hiya Joe, how are you?
Yeah, again, blown away by the stand, but can you talk to us a little bit about the Mazak, the Interflex?
Yeah, no problem, Joe. Well, what can we say about the Interflex? It's one of our flagship machines. 35 years and we've had the Interflex for, and we're demonstrating today Series 7. And what's important, every series that we come out with, Joe, it's an enhancement, it's an improvement. We're talking to the customer base quite heavily and quite seriously, and listen to the customer needs. And we all know that the Interflex is about done in one operation. But what are the changes that we've actually done to the Interflex for the EMO show this year? Well, if you look at the machine on the front, it's flat at the front now, and the key driver behind that is a lot of our customers are looking at automation. So when you're integrating automation, obviously with the health and safety regulations today, you've got to have guard around the front. So we don't want access into the tool magazine at the front of the machine. So it's a very smooth, sleek line now with the Interflex. We're demonstrating today our twin spindle version with the bottom turret, demonstrating a typical aerospace component. Interflex is all about done in one operation, head one, head two. One of the other key game changers with this style of machine now with the Interflex is that we've reduced the actual spindle headstock B-axis, reduced the capacity of that to give the customer a much larger working envelope within the machine. So we've got a 12,000 RPM high torque spindle and utilising flash tools as well on that spindle, so we can have up to multiple tools within one Capto C6 configuration. The machine today has got 74 tool magazine. A flagship machine, and we are world market leaders with this machine. We've got a full order book, Joe, with this machine.
I must admit, done in one, that was before it was actually a thing, right? Parts coming off complete back. Was it 30 years, did you say?
Yeah, 35 years, yeah.
And the two enhancements I like in particular was where it's more friendly for automation. And I must admit, the little thing like the tooling carousel, the operator being able to access the tools from the front of the machine.
Yeah. So you can see they can load the tools from the front of the machine to take it to the back, which gives them that great access as well. So the ability to utilise the machine at the front is still there, but we are seeing many of our customers coming to Mazak for a one-stop solution with automation, full support, full project management, and we have the ability to do that and supply. And what's interesting is when we see customers who've had Interflexes 20 plus years, they're coming back for the next level, and they're seeing the distinctive advantages with going down that route.
So you've just got to sell them the first one.
That's it, Joe, and we pretty much keep that customer for life then.
Sure. I've spoken with Mark Hall and yourself about 3 world-class Japanese machines, but you've got plants all around the world, including the UK, and we can't forget about the VTC. So if we take a walk over here, UK built, UK designed, UK manufactured. This is quite an interesting configuration you're showing here at EMO.
That's right, Joe. Well, again, you know, we have a very strict process when we design and develop a machine. It's a UK designed machine, developed in the UK and manufactured and built in the UK at Worcester plant, but we listen to the world, we listen to all our customers globally. And one of the key things with this machine was what's going to give a customer the best flexibility, especially for the subcontract industry. But we're looking at a machine here with 3.5 meters on the X-axis travel, 820 in the Y. But the flexibility it gives you, we've got a full rotary C-axis which is seated at 90 degrees. We don't have our rotary C-axis integral into the bed, and the main reason behind that is because you are fixed then as a customer to use that in its position. We have the flexibility to take it from a 90 degrees, put it down flat on its back within the machine envelope itself. We're showing a Nikon 4th axis rotary table here as well, which gives you full 5-axis capability, high-speed machining with 18,000 RPM, full 5-axis.
I've seen other machines in the market try and do a similar job, and they tend to mount the rotary table the other way up, don't they? But there's a lot of advantages doing it this way.
Well, it is, yeah. As I've said, you've got flexibility to move that rotary table around, and what we can see here now, you've got a machine with a centre partition. So, we can be running 2 separate components within the machine, high-speed machining, up 10, up 20, or 2 different components. The configuration of the machine, it's very rigid. It's a big footprint, but the main reason behind that is when you actually see this machine without its clothes on, and you look at the casting column itself that moves back and forth in the white. We're moving the whole casting back and forth. We're not just moving the spindle out, which will give you that droop, but the whole casting moves, supports that spindle, supports the rigidity.
Yeah. And the final one for me on it, I like the accessibility for one. It's great for the operator, but also that's a fairly large component. There's nothing to say. You can't essentially use that as some sort of either a tombstone or some sort of palletisation where you can do lots of smaller components.
Yeah, you have to think outside the box with this machine. We've got customers that use it in many different configurations, and we've got a full order book with this machine, and customers are seeing the benefits with it. But you're right. The access into the machine, the table's fixed, so craning heavy parts and you get 2.5 ton on the table into that is great, and also operator access into the machine to inspect and look at the components as well.
And also, I've seen them used horizontally, like as a horizontal machine with a tombstone.
Yep, get the C-axis, put it down flat on its back, put a tombstone on it, load up the components. And then you can get a high level of unmanned machining as well. You can run it lights out. You can run a shift over 8 hours overnight. But yeah, it's very flexible.
So there we have it. Yamazaki Mazak booth. We've seen 3 machines in Japan. This one's UK designed and manufactured for the rest of the world. And yeah, that's the end of the stream from here at Mazak. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one.